Hi, I'm not someone who usually shares personal stories. As a psychologist, I spend most of my time listening to other people's journeys, holding space for their pain, their hopes, their struggles. But today, I feel like I need to speak, not as a professional, but as a woman who, for years, quietly carried her own battles. I'm Laura Mitchell, I'm 49 years old, and for most of my adult life, I've struggled with my weight. Not in a dramatic way, not in a way that people would always notice, but in a way that I noticed. Every single day, every time I looked in the mirror, every time I felt my energy slip away by mid-afternoon, every time I found myself avoiding the camera, the party, the moment. I tried, of course. I did the diets, the clean eating, the portion control, the fasting windows. I joined gyms. I followed plans, tracked numbers, paid for memberships I barely had time to use. And through it all, I kept thinking, I'm a strong woman. I'm educated. I understand the mind. Why can't I win this battle with my body? And slowly, my confidence in that area faded. I showed up for my patients. I showed up for my family. But inside, I felt like I wasn't showing up for myself anymore. And then something unexpected happened. One day, I was in session with a patient, a woman who had come to me for help with anxiety, and over time, she shared that much of her anxiety was tied to her weight, to her relationship with her body. I watched her work hard, and one day, she came in different. Lighter, brighter, calmer. I asked what had changed, and she said, almost shyly, I started taking something called Mounja Root. I don't know if it's that, but I feel better. I listened, curious but cautious. I didn't believe in magic solutions. I didn't want to fall into that trap. But later that night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. This wasn't an ad. This wasn't a sales pitch. This was a woman I knew, a woman who had struggled, and who, now, seemed to be finding her way back to herself. So I did what I do. I researched. I read. I looked at the ingredients. Natural, simple. I read stories from other women. There was no hype, no wild claims, just support. Gentle, steady support. And I thought, what do I have to lose by giving myself that same support? So I ordered 3 bottles. Quietly. Privately. Without telling anyone. Not with big expectations. Just with a hope that maybe this could help me the way it helped her. I started taking 1 capsule each morning with my coffee. I didn't change my diet. I didn't start a new workout routine. I didn't add stress. I just added that one small habit. And slowly, something shifted. By the end of the first 2 weeks, I noticed I wasn't snacking mindlessly anymore. My energy stayed steady through the day. I didn't hit that afternoon crash where I felt like I was dragging myself through the hours. My mood felt lighter. My mind felt clearer. By the end of the first bottle, I had lost weight. Yes, but more than that, I had lost that heaviness I'd been carrying inside. I felt comfortable in my skin again. I smiled more. I accepted invitations. I stood in photos without trying to hide. And my patients noticed. My family noticed. But most importantly, I noticed. I felt like I had come home to myself again. Today, I'm still on my journey. I don't claim perfection, but I can tell you this. Mounja Root helped me, not just to lose weight, but to find balance. To feel like my body and my mind are working together, not at odds. I'm not here to promise anything to anyone. I'm just here to share what happened for me. Sometimes, support comes from the places you least expect, and sometimes one small decision makes all the difference.